1 in 6 adults over the age of 70 have mild cognitive impairment. Half of those will progress to Alzheimer's disease. If you know anyone that's had Alzheimer's disease, you know that that's not good. None of us want to develop Alzheimer's disease, and we all want to maintain our cognitive clarity for as long as humanly possible because we want to know our families, we want to be able to drive and remember what we went to the store for, and just stay sharp as long as possible into old age. What if I told you there's something that could slow cognitive decline by 60%? What if I told you there's something you could take that would slow your loss of memory by 3 years? In other words, it would allow you to keep your memory capacity 3 years longer than average. Would you eat trash if I told you it would have that effect on you? Or how about poop? Well, I'm going to share a study with you today where in the study they gave humans the equivalent of trash supplements or poop supplements, and they still worked to help slow cognitive decline and maintain memory. So let's dive into that today. I'm Dr. John Bartemus, and I'm putting the pieces together to help you live a life at optimal. An optimal life requires optimal cognitive function, optimal brains to not only run our bodies, but to interact with our communities, our families, and our loved ones. So a recent study was published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. And this study was a joint effort by researchers at Harvard and Columbia University. And what this paper looked at was they wanted to ask the question, is there any way to slow down memory loss and the eventual progression to dementia in the elderly? Why do we want to answer that question? Beside the obvious of we don't want to lose our memory and our cognitive functions, the American Alzheimer's Association has predicted that Alzheimer's disease alone will bankrupt our country by the year 2050. So that's a pretty large incentive to get an idea of how to stop this disease. And right now there are no truly effective treatments to slow progression. So if we could find one that is, and if it's also cheap and widely accessible, that would be a boon for our brains and for our long-term mental health. So these researchers from Harvard and from Columbia University dove in and they took over 3,500 adults aged 60 and up, and they split them into two groups. The treatment group, they gave them a multivitamin every day for 3 years. The other group was the placebo group. They got placebo every day for 3 years. The primary outcome was their memory recall, and that was tested by giving you 20 words in a row and then immediately asking you to recall as many of those 20 words as possible. And so what they did was at 1 year of multivitamin supplementation and placebo, they tested their recall, and they did that yearly after that for 3 years. And the study found that the multivitamin group had a preserved memory recall 3 years younger than placebo. So basically their memory aged 3 years slower than the group that wasn't getting the multivitamins. And this was a randomized controlled trial in RCT. This was the gold standard of scientific research methodology. So this is a great paper to move us this way. And the study authors concluded that by slowing cognitive decline by 60% in the supplemented group and by slowing the memory recall aging by 3 years in the supplemented group, this is an inexpensive, widely accessible, and low side effect treatment that could have a massive impact on population-wide health. Now, what about earlier I said they gave them garbage and poop supplements? Well, they did. This study, the multivitamin that they gave the elderly people was Centrum Silver. Centrum Silver is produced by GlaxoSmithKline, a pharmaceutical company that has no interest in nutrition and no interest in really making you healthy, but they do have an interest in making money, so they'll put out a crappy supplement if research supports it. And so they've had Centrum, it's been out on the market for a long time. In fact, I know multiple nurses that refer to Centrum one-a-days and other vitamins like that as bedpan bullets. A bedpan bullet is something that goes in and comes out and hits the bedpan and you hear a little pink when that tablet hits the bedpan because it's such poor quality, it's not dissolved and absorbed. So it goes in and comes out the same. So Centrum Silver was what was given to the treatment group in this study. That is a very poor quality multivitamin mineral supplement. You can see here on the label, it's full of toxins and additives and poor quality vitamins. You can see it has yellow and red 40 and blue 2 in it. It has titanium dioxide. It has modified cornstarch and BHT. These are all things that do not need to be in the supplement for any reason and decrease the quality of it and potentially toxic to your body and can cause symptoms in other ways. Then if we look at the B vitamin quality in this vitamin, looking at B12, you can see the biochemical form is cyanocobalamin. That is the cheapest, crappiest form of B12 that you can get. And if you read it, cyanocobalamin, cyano sounds like what? Cyanide. Cyanide's not healthy last time I checked. Well, that cyanocobalamin is metabolized into cyanide and cobalamin, cobalamin being the B12 part of it. So you have to detoxify the cyanide part. Not great if you're trying to be healthy. And then the folate, or vitamin B9, is in the folic acid form. This is also the most toxic form of vitamin B9. Instead of taking bedpan bullets, instead of literally eating garbage to try and preserve your brain or eating poop to try and preserve your brain, what if we gave you a high quality multivitamin mineral supplement? It's called Pro Multi Plus. This is third-party tested, non-GMO, gluten-free, soy-free, and it's made with the biochemical forms of the vitamins that aren't going to cause you to have to detoxify them like cyanocobalamin or folic acid would. So if we gave the whole population a multivitamin that's actually high quality, how much better could we do? If you don't want to age into your 60s and 70s and be one of those 1 in 6 that has mild cognitive impairment, or half of those that advance to Alzheimer's disease, then start taking a high quality multivitamin mineral supplement today. And if you need help finding one, we can put you in touch with the Biotics one or give you names of other high quality forms. But the key is to start a multivitamin mineral supplement as part of your daily regimen for brain health and overall health.